welcome back, guys. So, it's been a couple months since I released an episode. Subi's been doing pretty good. Not a lot going on with it, so not much has changed with it, honestly. But some big things are changing here at the house. So, first thing is, today we got to get this stump out of here, and we got to weld some doors on our dump trailer back here because I'm building a garage next to the house. So that's been kind of my sole focus here the past couple months, trying to get it planned out, trying to get some funds gathered up. So Subi kind of takes a back burner. Fortunately, it's running good, so we haven't had to put a ton of parts into it. So first thing we got to do, well, not the stump first, that's a big project. First thing we got to do is weld some doors on this trailer here. I'll show you. All right, so looking at this dump trailer right here, so essentially the owner of the trailer wants to do away with this big swing mechanism here. It's nice when it works well, but we kind of ripped it off a couple days ago unloading some brush, and the only thing that really holds it on here are these little small brackets. So not the best setup. What we're going to do is just weld the two doors here basically straight to the chassis here, and also the owner wants them to be able to flip completely back and kind of pin them over here on the side. That way as you're dumping, the doors aren't getting in the way, because that's kind of what happened the other day. That's what led to ripping this off, because the doors got in the way. As you bring the trailer up and dump it, they drug the ground. Bad things happen, right? First thing we gotta do, I'm gonna move the side by side over in front of the house, and I've got to cut these bad hinges off of here. So got these two hinges here, and then a couple on the old door. I'm gonna cut those off because I got a new one. And then I've got to cut that thing up a little bit because we're going to use some of the square tubing here as a standoff. All right, let's go take a little ride. I don't think I've shown this little side-by-side very much, but it's very handy around the house here. You get a lot of stuff done with this little side-by-side. It's a smaller one. It's like a 570 on the size of it, but it does everything I need it to do, so I'm happy with it. I did have to pull out the transmission. Let's see where we want this at. Because the splines where the axle go into had cracked and broken, so therefore I had to pull it out, replace those splines where it cracked in the center. These things are kind of notorious for the splines rounding off or getting bad, so, you know, maintenance type things. All right, that should be good for the trailer. Let's go get it set up on the grinder. All right, so I got all my tools together here. First thing I got to do is rip off these hinges. Of course, I didn't grab my wrench, so I got to do it the old school way. Oh, there we go. Fresh pack of cutoff wheels, always a necessity. I don't think I've done much fabrication on this YouTube channel, so you guys get to see my janky work today. Okay, let's see here. Alright, so status update here. I got the new hinge. Went ahead, sanded off a nice little flat spot to weld to, and doing some measurements on the trailer. So what I think, anyway, this is my theory. So the column on the trailer is about 4 inches wide. So this post I have here is right at 2 inches, and then the gate will overhang that post around 4 inches as well. So if I put the hinge right on the edge of that, it's hitting basically right at 4, which it's not welded down yet, but you know, you get the idea. So it's hitting right at 4. And then let's go look at the trailer. All right, on the trailer, we got this column right here is 4 inches. So the gap in between, 82 inches. And then my doors is 86, so that gives me 4 extra inches here. If the gate overhangs 2 inches, then 2 inches on either side should be about perfect. And then we'll have a swinging set of doors that that doesn't dump and spread like it used to. It'll just be fastened to the column. All right, let's go put some welds on this thing. So I got the hinge basically where we want it. I'm going to have it around right here so I can go ahead and tack weld this part up to the trailer and get it swinging off there. I kind of use this bolt right here as my reference point because, like I said, that door is heavy, and I wanted to make sure that when we opened it, the door would swing all the way back and you could pin it to the side of the trailer, because that's what the owner was wanting to do. But now, before we set the swing or anything of these hinges, I want to make sure my trailer's level, because if we take our level here, you'll notice, can't see it, but it's not quite level. So I'm going to take the jack, get this level so that we can start getting these hinges and doors all like they should be, level and square, swinging nice as you open them up. And I don't have any binding or nothing crazy like that. So first thing, let me grab my jack. I'm going to bring that corner up. Alright. Some pressure on that. This side needs to come up just a little. That's pretty darn good right there, so it wasn't too far off. Alright, so working on this hinge right here, made sure it is nice and level, and we've already leveled the trailer too, so we know that they're both relatively the same. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see what this is up top here. So the top of that, pretty level, so then therefore this being level should get our hinge level. So now what I want to do, so what I got rigged up here, I have a pencil with a string on it, right? So you want to get that roughly in the center of where the hinge is going to be, and then tie something down here on the end of it. Like I just got a socket in this case, nothing super heavy. So what that's going to do is basically give you a guide from your top hinge to your bottom hinge. And I just try to center it on that top hinge. That way when it falls in the middle here, we're looking good for the second hinge down there. You know, they strike roughly the same as what the top one does. Now in these hinges like this, there's a ton of movement, so again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want them relatively the same. Also got the hinge itself level with the trailer, just like the top one, so that it should swing relatively nice whenever we put the door back on. Now these lined up nice, threw a couple tack welds on the door itself, so now you'll see. Now, as a reminder, there's a lot of play in the hinges, but see how it kind of drops down. But now, she swings open, nice and good. I'm going to go ahead and close her up. That's kind of where it sits now. Whenever we get the other door on here, it's not actually going to push in like that. It's going to sit more flush like this, because these doors are slightly wider than the opening on the trailer. I could have cut them down, but that was a lot more work than we were wanting to do. So we ended up just kind of leaving the swing assembly, but welding it permanently to the back of the trailer. And then I'll do the same on this side. I'm leaving it tack for now, because I don't trust my fabrication skills enough. Might have to cut these back off, and you don't want to fully weld it just to find out later on that you messed up something. Everything looks good right now, but you know, just to be on the safe side, leave it tack weld, get this side finished up, then we can burn it all in as one unit. This side should go a little faster than that side, since we've already kind of got the baseline of what we want to do here. So, all right, let's do the other side. Now, if I measured the other side right, there should be about 2 inches of overlap on this side. Oh. Okay. Put them together. Next thing is I can kind of lock these together. For now. Alright, yeah, it's actually hitting almost dead center right there. So that should work out pretty nice. We just got to cut that little piece. Yep, cut that other swing piece. And then there's another piece here. We're trying to debate if we want to keep the channel for the ramps. I think it's a good idea, but it is going to be a big effort because you've seen that other piece, then it's like a piece of channel welded to a piece of angle and a lot of big welds, so I'm going to have to cut them all out of there. Might have to do some thinking on that one. But anyway, this is lining up like it should, so next thing I got to do, cut the little swing hinge piece here and then start welding on the mounts again. Exact reverse process of the other side. Little right hand side update. So I got my little string line set up for the hinges. Looking pretty straight so far. Now I got to go weld or grind these old brackets off here, get it looking nice, and we can weld up this door. I'm going to shim those hinges a little bit. It swings nice. Let's see if it goes all the way back like we wanted it to. Awesome. Perfect. Now let's see if it locks together with the other one. It's the only problem, we're going to have to lift up on it. Shim those hinges a little bit. Nice. Nice tight fit. Cool. There's a gap right there that I don't really like, but that might sort itself out once we get the let's see, the gap there is nice. Yeah, I think that might sort itself out once we get the bottom piece on here. And once we get these the hinges shimmed up a little more, oh yeah. So if I lift up on it, there's no gap right there. Now this down here looks kind of bent to me. Nice, I like it. I got these thick boy washers here. I think will kind of help take up some of the extra slack inside these hinges. And if I put these in and they work well, I can go ahead and finish welding the rest of the hinges up. Let's see, I'm gonna do one or two right now. if that helped out. Oh yeah, much better. Took all the slop out of it. And then, as it closes, nice tight fit. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, let's check the gap on the outside. Alright, let's check the level on the top of that. So if it's level on the bottom, it should be level on the top, right? Oh yeah, pretty good, right in the middle. Cool beans. Alright. Alright, so we're back today. Threw a couple more welds on the hinges here last night. Painted them up a little bit because we're expecting some thunderstorms, so I didn't want them to rust up. Swing really nice, so really happy with the way that turned out. They lock together pretty good, but what I want to do today is put the bottom striker on for the latch assembly. You want to have both ends because otherwise these gates are going to be flopping when you're going down the road. Nobody likes a floppy tailgate. So we're going to get that secured, try to do that pretty quick so that we can start digging the stump out and putting the extra debris in here. We are getting some bad thunderstorms today, so I'm going to try to knock this out quick. Hopefully it goes pretty smooth. I don't think it's going to be super complex. Honestly, probably not even going to measure. Just going to kind of eagle eye it, stitch it on there, see what happens. If it secures, we'll hit it with a little bit of paint, then we can start digging the stump out. Alright, door number one with the striker at the bottom, and then come in like this. While I was welding it, this upper piece broke off, so I had to weld that back on. This trailer's had some rough times in its life, but hook it up, latches in both, good to go, top and bottom. So, pretty happy with it. I think that should pretty much do it for the job. Look inside here, pretty decent gap across. Yep, I like it. The only thing we didn't do was put the C-channel back down here for the ramps. So these ramps on the side have a little latch here that basically holds them in place. Still trying to come up with a solution for that. I didn't want to hack in to the metal, but I think we can reuse this bar somehow, because that's what the ramp rests on right there. So we'll see. Might be a later project, but for now I'm going to move this thing up a little bit, kind of parallel with the stump, and start digging out all the dirt around the base of that stump and see what happens. I've got this kind of smaller tractor, but I think it'll do the job just fine. All right, let's get to it. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. I didn't really record much of the stump because it was a colossal effort. Me and my brother-in-law were out here until after midnight, I believe it was. We had chains and come-alongs and winches and everything trying to get that stump into the trailer. I bet you it probably weighed 4,000, 5,000 pounds. The roots had kind of grown around all the rocks, and it was just an absolute nightmare. But we got it, and as you can see, this Chevy Tahoe is parked on top of where the stump used to reside. And this is my newest project for the channel, so stay tuned to see what we do with this. We needed a vehicle for myself personally to pull the trailer around the side by side, go look at property, go camping, things like that. So we picked Old Reliable here, and got quite a few things we need to do to it. There's a suspension conversion that I'm going to do. Got all new shocks, coil springs for the back. I've already replaced the fuel lines on it because that was kind of a safety type of issue before we could drive it. So fuel lines are all finished up, but stay tuned to see what we have in store for the Tahoe, and hopefully going to break ground on the garage soon, get some concrete poured and get that building going up so I can actually have a place covered up to work, store the Subi in. Also, before I kick off here, we are going to Subi Fest or Boxer Fest this weekend. We're going to make a video on that as well, so stay tuned for that. Awesome Subaru show here on the East Coast. If you've never been, I suggest tuning in and checking it out. Upcoming next weekend, so that will be the 14th of September. Check that video out. And as always, thanks for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, comment, engage with me so I know that you guys are getting something out of the video, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Have a great day. See you next time around.